Hey, what's up, guys? I'm actually at work, you know what time it is. But I just figured I'd come on and put my own little rant about how this device works. I feel like that, honestly, it's a great one. What everybody's talking about when it comes to this thing just not doing what it's supposed to do, because I have thoroughly enjoyed it. But yeah, if you like gaming on, oh, what the? Oh, they're tripping. This thing's doing something. But yeah, so I'm not at home. I'm at work.
Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that. Federal agents right here, Thornton.
The PlayStation
My partner, Thornton.
Portal is a great device. So I'm playing right now. I'm at work. The internet is doing just fine. I don't know why it's on a metal cable. That's why it's kind of wobbly here. But yeah, so to me, I've had a great experience with this thing because it does most of the time what I need to do. It's not a perfect experience. You see right now, everything's looking good. You know, so where you want to go, it's going to have a little bit of lag on your end because YouTube compression and the live effect and all that. It's got to go through with the bit rate, whatever your bit rate is. It'll probably be, not what the PlayStation Portal's 60 frames a second. It just won't look 100% the same way. But know that it looks this great on my screen. It's not quite as washed out as it looks on there. But I just can't get the thing to really give me any kind of good lighting for it. Like it doesn't know where it wants to focus at. It has no idea where it wants to focus. Yeah, it's like it wants to zoom out there. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's getting crispy. It's crispy, you know what I mean? The camera's kind of hard to know about where it's at here on the thing, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you can see I've got everything's looking just fine. What is it zoomed in so far? This is crazy. It's like it wants to be zoomed in like 1,000%, and it just will not zoom out as far as Jesus. That is craziness. It just will not zoom out the way it wants, the way I need it to. It wants to wherever I'm zooming at, like wherever I start pinching, it zooms into that far and then tries to get me to zoom out from there. I don't know what this thing's doing. Literally. Yeah, it's literally like it does not want to zoom out. Now that I finally got it to work, yeah, you can see
Were there any witnesses?
Front door
the
open.
audio is good, video is fine. I'll leave y'all with that for a second.
Not that we have anything against city food, right, Thornton? But don't worry, Sheriff Brinker took them back to town a while ago.
Front door open. Front door open. Front door open. Front door open. Front door open.
You know we've been working hard. But yeah. So anyway, if you're gonna tell me you can't, when you're trying to get away from the PlayStation 5,
I want to
if at any reason, whether it's for somebody using the TV
Oh,
or
sure, that's real simple.
going to work and you have the ability or going on a trip or something like that, you can pick up your portal and bing bang boom, there you go. Now, yeah, is it going to be the perfect experience every time? Absolutely not, because it's internet based. So if you don't have internet, you cannot play this device. That's just the way it happens. Even my 11-year-old son has come to terms with the fact that when we're driving around, there's only so many things we can do. You know, it's going to have some issues. You know, and it's going to do a little bit of what they call bit crushing, which is when the resolution continues to go down, down, down to facilitate the fact that your internet wants to give you a streaming, wants to give you a streaming experience, but also, what the world? Oh, she's in her head, I guess. But yeah, so is it going to be the best experience everywhere you go? No. Is it going to be a great experience most of the time? Sure. I feel, like I said, me and my son went
Front
to...
door open.
Oh, hold on, I'll be right back. But yeah, so anyway, we went to, you know, some Christmas things yesterday. We were 40 minutes away from the house. Now, we weren't able to, I mean, we could have probably played on the PlayStation, but that's not always the best experience, only because you're trying to connect to a physical device, whereas this, when you're playing it on the streaming, which is what I'm doing right now, the best way, honestly. So if it's only streaming from the cloud servers, then you're usually great. The PS5 is going to be iffy only if you don't have good internet to your PS5. This thing, it's going to get the internet. You know, as long as you have an upload of some sort, you're going to be getting things done. But the download will be determined. That will show you what you actually see on the screen. You know what I mean? Which can be, like I said, if it's a bit crushing a little bit and taking the resolution down, then yeah, you might not have the best experience. But are you going to be able to play it? Yeah. Is it trying to keep its frame rate and performance? Yes. So yeah, it's going to lower the resolution if it feels like that in order to keep the frame rate and performance, that's what it needs to do. Now, as you can see, it hasn't done that on here. I'm trying to see if it can get it, but it doesn't want to act like this is the focal point of the thing. Let me see. Now you can see, now it thinks this is the subject of it, and when we get out here, it's gonna, yep. Now, yeah, so, oh, and of course it did the thing with the zoom. Oh, what's up, guys? How we doing over here? We're having a great time. Just talking a little Portal, you know. Oh, goodness. Hold on a second. But yeah, if you're expecting a AAA experience every day of the week and never have any hiccups or stutters or resolution lowering, no, it's not going to happen that way. Are you going to play a lot more often than you do because now you have access to your PlayStation and or your PlayStation library much more often? Yes, definitely. You will definitely be playing it much more often because you have the opportunity to. Excuse me, but I want you to zoom. So you see, like, it's doing everything as fast as I would want it to do. The cursor. You are now free to navigate the caseboard or leave by pressing checkpoint. So, you know, when you want to walk somewhere, they walk. They do exactly what you want them to do. Sorry about the angle. This thing is going crazy when it doesn't get its way. What in the world with this thing? There we go. That may be one of the things about having a fold, but, you know, the fact that right now I'm not even having to use a kickstand to hold it up on its own, so you get the bad with the good. Shadows are looking pretty good on this game here. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, you can see, even right now, I'm not getting bit crushed at all. My resolution is crispy. Everything I'm seeing, I'm looking at little coffee pots and a table lamp, and, you know, all that is very easily seeable. I'm sure it is on you guys pretty much as well, even though it's blurry. But yeah, it's definitely good. No bit crushing, no situations like that. So I'm doing just fine. I play Battlefield 2042, the new Battlefield RedSec. I don't have Call of Duty, so I don't play that right now, but I do, I may get it. I haven't gotten Call of Duty in a little bit, and then they say this one's going to be terrible. This one's terrible so far, too, so. They just cannot get a campaign that's more than 3 hours. I don't understand it. Other games make 40-hour days, make DLCs and 60 hours and 100 hours, and Call of Duty just cannot get past a 3-hour campaign, 6-7 missions and it's over. I just never understood it. Probably because they added 4,000 billion stupid skins on there that nobody wants or gives a crap about. Like, yeah, we'll utilize them if they're there because they're cool, they look good, whatever, but at the end of the day, did anybody really ever ask for them? And if they did, what was the thing? Like, did they ask for every single thing that they had to be able to do anything with for it to be a skin? Like, no, sometimes they want tangible rewards like an actual new gun, or, you know, weapon attachment or something of that nature. Visiting the mine place does not pause the game, so be mindful of your threats. Okay. Beautiful. But yeah, so anyway, if you're thinking about getting a PlayStation Portal, definitely do it because it's more than worth it. And not only the fact that, I don't know, people, maybe they didn't understand what this device was trying to be or what it was supposed to do. This device is for a certain couple of people. Well, I mean, it's honestly, I think it's for everybody, but it's really designed for a certain type of people. Usually people, not necessarily older or younger. Age doesn't have anything to do with it. A lot of people are like, oh, you got to be an old guy that's in his 40s that's trying to get some time on his PlayStation. No, it's more for anybody that's trying to have more time on their PlayStation when they don't have the ability to either use the TV that the PlayStation is attached to, or they don't always have the ability to be home, but they do have some free downtime in between things that they do. And one more situation is, at the end of the night, whether you're with someone, or, you know, sleeping in bed with someone, or alone at night, it doesn't even matter. Sometimes you want to watch TV, and you can't do that if you're playing the game. But sometimes you also want to play the game. Now you can. You can put the TV on your, you can put whatever you want to watch on TV, and pull out your Portal, and still play the game. Your PS5 is right there, you're playing it just like you would. Yes, it's going to have a hiccup here and there, especially if your PS5 is not hardwired. If you don't have good Wi-Fi to the Portal, then you're also going to have a situation. That is really about it. If you've got good internet to the Portal and your PS5 is hardwired, it's probably going to be 99% of the time a great experience for you. If your PS5 is not hardwired and your internet is dog ass and you have 10 megabits upload and 5 megabits down, it's not happening, bro. You're going to need a little more than that. But at the end of the day, it probably will let you start the game. You just might not have the most enticing experience at every
Front
level.
door open.
But most of the time it will be playable. It'll just be a little bit lower resolution. Yeah. So anyway, if to me is if you want to play your PlayStation more often, or play your PlayStation games more often, including some of your PS1, PS2, PS3, even PS4. Of course, PS5 will be included. You know, some PS5 games. You cannot play Gran Turismo for whatever reason. Maybe it needs the enhanced ray tracing capabilities of a direct PS5 itself rather than whatever thing that they're using to stream, because it's probably not a server room full of PS5s. It's probably a server room full of PS5 CPUs and APUs, and just like they showed in this video I just watched, and they're all just stacked up next to each other. You know, and each one of those works as a PS5. You see what I mean? So, but Gran Turismo and maybe a certain other couple of specifically PlayStation 5 versions of games. Well, actually, PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 certain games, because Gran Turismo doesn't work either way. PS4 or PS5, you cannot stream in any capacity. You have to download it to a console to play it. Now, well, you don't have to download it to a console, but you do have to yes, you have to download it to a console. You can buy it digitally, or you can buy it on a CD, well, Blu-ray disc, you know, but you do have to install it on a console physically in order to play it one way or the other. I can't go to the portal, the streaming games library on here, and Gran Turismo show up. It will not be there, even if it is a PS5 game. Even if I am paying for the PS5 streaming capability that gives me the ability to solely play games that are being streamed, so it'll say stream games from your library or PS Plus gaming catalog, and I have those two options to use. So under the PlayStation, under the games that I can stream that are in my PS5 library, that will not be there. And there are certain other few games that, and I'll go through the list at some point and make it a little more comprehensive, but essentially there's I'd say at least 10 to 20 games that require a PS5. You know what I mean? It cannot be streamed. It can be downloaded, but it has to be downloaded to a console and played from the console. It's not a whole bunch of them, but it's enough. Most of the time, though, you can find the game that you buy it. It shows up on the PlayStation, the PS5 games I can stream library within a second or two, and then you can just play it here on your screen. If you can stream it, you can stream it through here, and that is definitely a big advantage. But a lot of people they're not understanding that it's one of its biggest advantages now. People didn't think about it being able to do anything other. I honestly knew that it was probably going to be able to do something like this. It's a remote player. It cannot only stream from the PlayStation 5. There has to have been more capabilities that this thing was going to come with, because that just isn't enough. If you can only play your PlayStation 5, then even as good as this would be,
Front door open.
it would only be good enough if your PlayStation 5 Ethernet, your internet was good.
Front door open.
But yeah, so essentially you're just not going to find a better ability to play your PlayStation 5 games on the go. You know, yes, they want it to be a couch situation. I personally, I take this thing around my house all the time. I take my PlayStation Portal almost everywhere I go. You know, I've got a bag. I put it in my bag, and I don't have a special carrying case for it. It just sits there, and I haven't had any situations with my sticks drifting. My triggers, I've got little trigger covers that kind of extend them a little bit for like first-person shooters and stuff. Just to give them a little extra throw, you know, instead of it being like really short right here and then it goes down to there, you know. This extra bit will give it that precision that I can use to, if I really want to get, but you know, I don't even need as much anymore. I just like the feel of them being a little bigger because with the adaptive triggers that 99% of the games that are here work with, when I want to be on a trigger itself, I'll push down and it'll get to a certain point and just, you know, and then when I actually pull the trigger, it will. You know, that adaptive trigger is the thing about it. That in itself, the adaptive triggers and the vibration that comes from this device is one main top tier reason that you will want this device instead of your phone and a backbone. The adaptive triggers are there, the vibration is there, all your buttons are exactly where you would want them to be. Start, select, PlayStation, you got your microphone. This is a DualSense controller split in half and put the screen in it. That is exactly what it would. Listen, we all know, in myself included, we all know this should have been the PlayStation Portal 3. The PlayStation Portable 3. The PlayStation Portal is and will always be a missed opportunity for certain advantages. This device should have definitely been standalone in some way. I don't give a crap if it could only play up to PS3 games, PS4 games. There should have been games that I should be able to play on this device natively. But any other situation when I want to play a game, I can do that. And I can play it as close to the PlayStation 5 experience that I could get, which is a PS5 DualSense controller, adaptive triggers, haptic feedback from the rumble motors and stuff. You know, those things matter when you're experiencing a PlayStation 5 game. The precision that you get from the sticks. Yeah, they have some stick drift here and there, but the Portal doesn't. From what I'm seeing, I haven't had any kind of stick drift or anything like that going on. It's got all the buttons that a PlayStation 5 DualSense controller has, so it's not missing anything, any functionality. And honestly, I think the Portal rumble and vibration feedback features are a little bit more enhanced for the normal DualSense controller, which actually makes this one of the most preferred ways to play your PlayStation 5, even if you're playing it on the TV. The response is still going to be there, your upload time and everything like that. As long as your upload time is acceptable in any way, it's going to get your inputs. And the TV screen up in front of you is showing exactly what's really happening. So whatever shows up on the Portal, you don't even have to look at that anymore. I just like using this as its own controller because, one, if someone needs to use the TV, it never interrupts it because they just switch the TV over. I've got the Portal screen right here. I'm still seeing what the PlayStation 5 is doing in every aspect. And not only that, if I'm playing the PlayStation 5 and I've got the Portal here, it actually feels really nice to have it just a little bit lighter in your hands, because the DualSense controller is good, but it is kind of small, you know. It's not a big small controller, but it's not a big controller. It fits into the middle of the screen. I feel like if the DualSense controller was maybe even like here, just a little bit bigger, it feels a little small in the hand, but it's okay because it feels good any other time. You know, like when you're using it, it feels good. It's weighted. It's hefty. It's not light. You know, in any way by that stretch. So I feel like it's a good combination of balance. You know, it's got good weight. It's got good feeling. The triggers are, the sticks are really usable. They're not too small. They're not too big. The triggers, man, the adaptive triggers, you can't get into these enough because they're special. There's something special about them, dude. Between that and the vibration of this controller itself, like I said, even though I think the Portal got some of the DualSense Edge features, or at least some of their haptic motors and things, just because they feel different. They do feel different. They feel a little bit more weighted. Maybe it's because the device is more weighted, but that's to be seen. But yeah, if you want to play your PlayStation 5 any other way than on the TV on the PlayStation 5, this is the best way to do it. Are you going to have hiccups? Are you going to have to accept things? Are you going to have a situation where the Portal might not be the best experience at all times? Sure. But 90% of the time, especially when you're streaming games from the PlayStation Cloud itself, that is going to be a beautiful experience 90% of the time. When you're playing your PlayStation 5, 75% of the time, that's going to be a great experience. The other 25, you'll deal with some hiccups and stuttering, and you might not be able to connect as much in certain other places. Like here, I could connect to my PlayStation 5 right now, like no issues, but I've got business Wi-Fi right now, so it's not going to be an issue if I've got 500 megabits a second up and down, guaranteed. You know, and that's not that much here, but it is at least 250 to 300, you know, which is more than enough. So, but when my son was playing it yesterday, when we were playing together and stuff, he was on my mobile hotspot and we were going from the sticks, and he was still able to get on most of the time and have a decent experience. And he's playing Fortnite. That's all he's playing right now. He's playing Fortnite, getting extra good kills. So, like I said, at $150 to $175 on Facebook, $125, $150, you're gonna find a deal because people are sleeping on this thing because they don't have the best internet, and that happens. But at the end of the day, if you give this device a chance, it will show you what it can do. It will definitely show you exactly what it can do. So if you got a backlog backing up and you feel like that there's maybe something that the PS5 Portal can do for you in terms of helping that, this is the one. Get it. It can help you get that backlog down, I guarantee it, because I've been playing so many games that I didn't even know I had access to, and not only that I didn't have available at all times because there was no other way to stream them other than being on the PS5 on the TV. This device alleviates any situation where you cannot play a game because you cannot play it on your PS5 on the TV. If you can't play it on your PS5 on the TV, then you're out of luck. This eliminates that. That's what it's for. This eliminates the times where you can't use your TV to play your PS5. And or you would like to stream PS5 games. Here it is. This actually, to me, I've been using it as a second PS5 because it can do literally everything that the PS5 can do except certain games. And the games that I can't work with it on are fine because I usually just use them on my PS5, which I can do right here on this device. So I'm not having to choose. It's not stream your PS5 and nothing else. It's not stream cloud games and not your PS5. It's both. Now, yes, the cloud streaming beta was in beta and now it's not, and that is an advantage that people haven't had. Now, if you've been in the beta, you've had this advantage for at least a year. You've been able to do this for at least a year. Even when you could only connect to your PS5. That one advantage of being able to play your PS5 without needing a TV, but also still retaining the qualities of your PlayStation DualSense controller and haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, that's what this device is there to do. To bridge the gap between being able to use the TV and not being able to use it, pretty much. Say you are only going to be not using the TV for an hour or two. They want to watch a movie. Somebody wants to watch a movie, whatever. They got the TV for 2 hours. You've been playing your PlayStation 5 in the background the whole time. When it's gone, you never actually have to do anything other than switch your input back to the PS5 because it hasn't stopped running yet. But anyway, I'm going to go live a little later. I'm going to make a video, a long form video showing you guys exactly what it means to own this device, because it is definitely something where if you don't know to appreciate it, you're going to think it's only it's just a $200 paperweight that I got to have crazy fast internet to work, and a lot of the time this device is going to work more often than not. I've got people who are saying that they can't deal with it. That's cool. That's cool. If you can't deal with the fact that some of the resolution isn't going to be greatest, you're going to have hiccups and stutters here and there. That's great. It is what it is. I mean, I'm sorry that it didn't work out for you. But if you are a person that wants more time on your PlayStation 5, or wants to be able to play your PlayStation 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, any of the games from the streaming catalog, if you want to be able to play those more often, or when someone is using the TV that is connected to your PS5, or you think that you might benefit from having a second PS5 without having to buy one, which is the main thing for this device with the streaming capability, is a great asset. It's literally like having a second PS5 depending on the games you're playing, because if you can't get it on the portal, it's one of those things. But if you can, then it instantly gives you access to being able to have a second PS5 while you're playing multiplayer, something like that. Say my wife's playing on the PS5, she's playing Fortnite. I hop on the portal because I can play Fortnite on my own account like it is another PS5. So this is a separate second PS5 that I'm dealing with, right? That's what you can consider. So now me and her can play Fortnite at the same time. And I'm not playing on a Switch, which we all know is much slower than any other thing when it's trying to load into a game. Sometimes I've even gotten into the match before her on this portal. That's the difference. You can't do that on other devices and still have the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback that comes with playing on a DualSense controller. The controller is a big portion of why this portal is as important as it is. PS Remote Play has been around for a long time. The portal, the DualSense controller built into the portal is what brings the whole thing to life. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to make a long form video about that later on. But you guys have a good rest of your day. We will see you on the next one. And if you have any questions, definitely leave them down in the comments. And I can answer. I've had my portal for almost 2 years now, and I have never enjoyed a handheld as much as I have this one. You know, I've had my Switch for a long time. I used to play Game Boy, Nintendo DS. I've still got my Nintendo DS, and I play from time to time. But this has been my #1 favorite handheld in life. I've always wanted a PlayStation handheld of some sort, and ever since, unfortunately, when I left at 18, my parents' house, the day I left, someone stole my PlayStation Portable, the PSP, the original one. I had bought it with my own money, saved up $200 and bought a PlayStation Portable, and the day I left home, somebody stole it. And I had never had a PlayStation Portable of any sort since then. And that was back in 2009. So,
Front door open.
you know, hey. But yeah, you guys have a good rest of your day.